Russian geezer. So Archie, I mean, I really feel like this entire lobby can be equally unreliable. None of these guys are to be trusted. But into the game we go. This is the best of 7 quarterfinal, the first of 4 for Flip and Spin. And if you want to get some prize money, if you want to make it to Paris Games Week, the LAN portion of the event, you have to win here. There's no lower bracket. It's win and you're in, lose and you're out. And Anoski starts off with a double tap to go 1 goal ahead.
It's a big read as well from Oski because he's pretty much just called out that Rezi can't get to this ball. Rezi was in a decent spot. Decided to play it off the backboard anyway for the double tap. And he was correct. Rezi could not get there. And it's the perfect start for this Oxygen roster.
I'm excited to see Oski just sitting upfield, waiting for his teammates to boom the ball towards him. We know that's something that Oxygen love to do. They love to just hard clear that ball, lob it above teammates. And Oski is a great player to lob the ball towards. One of the most mechanical, one of the most aerially talented players in the world. It's a phenomenal recovery there to get a block, and it will be a beeline down the line from Oski. So I'm thinking about giving it off to him. Oski just half flipping there back into position to get the ball. Looks like they are just getting so many free touches. Ixo and Archie double commit though, and it actually works. Wait a minute, well, that almost resulted in a goal.
Just seems like there's an awful lot of space here for Oxygen Esports to work, although Joyo has won the challenge. Archie puts the ball wide. Oli to Rezi, called off, or was he? Because now that is quite the kerfuffle that most esports have put themselves into. Miscommunicated. Joyo waiting for it on the backboard. Oli wanted to have a look if he could try and turn. Now options aren't going to be there for him.
Now, will we see Joyo pop off? He's been in great form in the last half of the 2022-23 season for RLCS. He was back to his extremely mechanical ways. Ixo's had a bit of an argument with the post there, but it looks like he'll be recovered just in time to intercept the following clear. Mostly Oxygen aggressing in game 1. Not a lot of space for Moist to work with. We haven't seen them make solo plays. We talk, about Joyo and his ability to do that. Rezi as well. He was that kind of player. Same kind of idea as Joyo for Moist was Rezi for Hogan mode.
Oli at the moment is doing all of it, and he has escaped not only the corner, but he's got the opposite side of the field. Oski had to get something on it before the oncoming shot was there. Both teams have been a little bit all over the place when it comes to getting their touch correct. But for now, it is Oxygen Esports that have been the better. Out to Rezi. Good fake on the first player. Archie had to go early, otherwise he would have been a bump target. Both these teams doing a decent job of cutting rotation, finding their gaps, getting opportunities, and this might be another one to try and put this game away. Out to Ixo, and kept out, but barely crosses the line, and Oxygen Esports have doubled up.
Yeah, it was a big miss off the backward there by Rezi. I mean, the ball was coming at him quickly there, but he should have had that. And unfortunately there for Joyo, he hit the ball with an outward angle, but it spun off the post and into his own net. Well, he attempted to save it. 2-0 Oxygen. They've, I think, deserved the goals they've got, but Moist will be pretty annoyed. Rezi will be pretty annoyed with the way that he allowed them to get that goal in so quickly.
Oxygen Esports getting a lot more comfortable sending for early challenges. Moist Esports, I know, trying to control too often for me. It's becoming a little bit too easy to read. Oli still the only one that's really had all that much success with outplaying his way from defense. Here comes Joyo. Doesn't get the block. Oli went so early, and he's done well. Trying to cause some havoc. Oxygen Esports have not been all that tested in defense just yet. Moist trying to change that just now. Joyo out to Rezi. Going to try and stick with it. Archie keeps it away for now. Now Joyo underneath.
Oh my.
The oncoming shot from Oli. That went high, and you don't know how many more chances Moist are going to get.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity there for Moist, but just about saved by Oxygen, who hold on to that 2-goal lead. We're getting exactly what we expected from Oxygen. We've got Archie sitting back, being the solid defender for the team, and he has been extremely effective in defense, not just behind the ball, but when he's recovering, he's staying active, he's making plays, cutting rotation to cut off passes. Well, mid-air passing play here between Oli and Rezi. It doesn't work out as Oxygen remain 2 goals ahead once more for another few seconds. We're into the final 50. Oski's been given all the freedom that we expected. when he joined this roster. Now he's got Ixo down the line. Can't catch up to that one. Oxygen still in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, and still relatively untroubled when it comes to defense. Oli and the rest of the squad will have to change that heading into the final 30, and a shot like that will not do anything. More time wasted. Oski can quite easily recover. Drop down pass. Joyo was never going to get there. Off the wall. Joyo will need somebody to get to, but you can see how early Oski's gone. No respect for the play whatsoever. Oxygen have had the read on them for the entirety of this opening 5 minutes. It looks to me like Moist Esports have got some things to figure out. And they've got 1 minute to do so, because this has not been it in this game 1.
Yeah, not a lot of solo play coming out of Moist in this game. We saw some attempted at the end of the game there, but not the same confident aerial takeoffs that we're used to seeing from players like Rezi and Joyo. Meanwhile, we got exactly what we expected from Oxygen. Archie holding it down at the back. Oski just running like rampant up front. And Ixo getting all the gaps filled in the midfield. So, yeah, we're happy with what we're seeing from Oxygen, but we need a lot more out of... we need a whole lot more out of Moist. And it actually does beg the question, does their team make sense when it comes to roles? The way that Oxygen does, it's very obvious what Oxygen are going to do. Archie's very happy to sit back. He prefers to sit back. Oski likes to be the aggressive player. Now, Moist kind of all want to be the forward player historically. Oli loves to get up front, to pressure. Rezi and Joyo love to lead the attack. Who's going to take the back foot in this lineup if they decide to leave somebody back at all as a priority?
Seems like that's always been the question when it comes to almost every iteration of the Moist roster we've seen. Archie going to try and outplay everybody.
Oh,
well, there was no try. There was only getting it done.
Oh, beautiful air double by Archie. That's not an easy takeoff, but he works it on target and then leans in front of the ball to demo the defender. Still, again, I want to highlight just how good of a job he did to get the ball moving towards the goal from a very low angle and also off target initially.
A sort of play as well that I'm sure Oski and Ixo will be looking at and just going, yeah, we made the right decision. Just having that in the back pocket. Huge outplay. Oxygen Esports, the only team still to have scored. Obviously still very early on in this series, but for Moist Esports, it's been worrying how few opportunities they've had. Still no one really pressuring the ball either. Got there quite late. Only just straight to Archie. That's a lovely pinch. He managed to use Joyo's car as well to help it along. Just not getting out of this final third all that easily. When they do, they are setting up solo plays for Oxygen. That one was mistouched there from Archie, and something there from Oli. Did have Oski to aim for. Taps the ball on. Archie low boost, so he's going to wait for it to come to him. Joyo's now trying for these double taps, just getting a little bit of space to try and escape.
Think back to... lovely touch there by Oski. Think back to the start of last season. Archie, Jorias, and at the time, Oli had a phenomenal start to the season before falling off in the middle of the season and not really getting the results that they wanted with their new third towards the end. Well, both of the new thirds that they tried to play with, really. Archie, again, having a great start this time to the off-season. Massive fake there from Archie. Rezi dodges the demo, though. Really nice dodge in defense. A necessary one. If he got bumped there, the net would have been wide open.
Yeah, that 2v1 was incredibly difficult to play against, but play against it he did. Now time for Joyo to work. First touch kind of let him down. Tried to scramble to keep the ball alive. First real chance Moist Esports have had in the opposing side of the field. Archie will leave that for Oski. Up against Oli, who went early. Two players up in the air, which means Archie's missed the ball.
Archie had plenty of boost there, but he just accidentally flipped the wrong way, it looks. Flipped around the ball. And it looked like he had a pretty free shot. I mean, we couldn't see from that angle whether or not the net was open, but from that range, does it even matter? You should be able to get a pretty powerful shot. It's very difficult to save.
Back to the corner. Moist Esports starting to see more and more of this orange side of the field. The demo should help as well. There was a demo actually on Rezi, so Numbers dwindling for the time being for Moist. And the one that's most important is the timer on the clock. 2 minutes left. 7 minutes into the series. No goals to their name. Can Rezi change it off the backboard? And Oski sweeps away the danger. Oh, he's actually got the bump on Archie. Still gets there.
Yeah, the bump just a bit too early there, so Archie was able to recover, make the follow-up save. This is better, though, for Moist. Consistent pressure coming through. Oli, air dribble to the ceiling. He doesn't get second contact on it, but now here comes Joyo with it. Equally high air dribble takeoff. He's blocked as well. As Moist continue the aerial assault.
Has been better, though, for Moist. Unable to break Oxygen down just yet, but there are things to work with. Double commit, not quite so much. Minute and 15 now. Oski puts the shot on net. Has to just make sure Rezi isn't allowed to try and clear down the main path. Oli to Joyo on net. Archie again is the one to stop it.
Fantastic save there by Archie. Making it very difficult for Moist to get a quick follow-up. Archie, again, slowing down the offensive Moist, but they've got the ball through. That was in the middle and uncontested. Looks like Moist just mistimed their arrival. They couldn't get the shot off. Final 40 seconds. Moist still scoreless between this game and the last.
That's 2 chances for Moist that really should have been a large threat to the goal. Neither of them have been. Oski clears the ball out to Archie. Didn't get the touch he was after. Only moves the ball around some teammates. Pops the ball high. In goes Rezi. Moist will be looking for off-the-ball bumps. Instead, the pass to Joyo. Oh, it's off the post. Next one for Oli. That was off target, I think. Moist Esports. Well, they've had more chances. They've got no more goals. Oli now up. More bumps attempted, but Argenixo far too strong, and they've got rid of the ball entirely.
Strong goal line defense coming out of Oxygen Esports. That should be game over. It is. They survive Moist's pressure, hold on to that 1-goal lead, and they're up 2-0 in the best of 7. That was still a lot better, though, for Moist. Much more promising towards the mid and the end of that game. They started to look confident with their aerial play. They started to follow up quickly on each other's shots and passes in offense. But it still wasn't enough. Some very impressive goalkeeping coming out of Oxygen, namely Archie with a really good recovery and save while being bumped. I think that was a crucial moment. And Moist have called timeout. I think that does make sense because Oxygen have got a bit of momentum. Moist have yet to score after 2 games.
That's not really, hi, this is our brand new team.
Yeah, that's not the team intro that you want. No. But, Moist, they're all experienced players. We're not in a matchup here where we're looking at new players to the scene. Rezi got, a lot of deep runs in RLCS towards the end of last season. Oli's had deep runs, even a regional win in last RLCS season. Joyos had all the success in the open era. So they're going to be very, very familiar with this. I'm sure they've all been 2-0 down in a best of 7 before calling timeout. But, the main issue for me is that, that slow start it gives them so much work to do. Oxygen look really good in defense. They look really good in offense. They look like the full, the full package so far. And if you're going to take down Oxygen, are you really going to do it? 4 games out of 5.
Yeah.
That's tough.
For me right now, it's all about, look, they've got something to work with towards the end of that game. Doing a really good job of just trying to send players downfield, looking for bumps, looking for demos. The only problem that they've got at the moment is they're trying to look for bumps and demos on Archie. I think there's very few players that would not work against. Archie's one of those very few players. Yeah,
it's tough. Very, very tough to bump and demo at the right time. I think it's probably one of the most underrated aspects of bumps and demos in pro play. When the pros do it and they get a goal off it, it just looks so easy. They think, well, obviously, he forced the goalkeeper to jump or he bumped him out of the way and then a shot went into the net. But it's all about the timing. It's knowing when to shoot. It's knowing when to set up a shot so that you can hit it when the defender is compromised. Some teams do it very well. Other teams need a bit of practice to get used to the timing that their teammates prefer to go for bumps and get used to the tendencies of their teammates. Not everybody tries to bump the same way. Some of them like to slow down, wait for the defender to commit, and then go for them. Some of them like to just go full speed at them and force something to happen. If you are playing with a player who does that, you have to get the shots off quickly. That's not what happened there when the bump did land in Archie. Shot came in too late.
For a lot of plays that Moist were making, you can't really say they were fast plays. They were attempts at outplays, which you know, very rarely are going at maximum speed. Here's Oski to try and add another one to the tally. Well, it's right back to where you were. That timeout has fizzled away.
It's a difficult save there for Rezi. He actually would like that ball to be shot higher. It shows how, you know, low placement can be effective, because that's not possible for Rezi to hit his own crossbar with a pinch save there. Very awkward to get clear. He's got to hit a very precise save, pretty much directly upwards, and that's, you know, easier said than done. He couldn't do it there. Bounced it back into the middle of the box, and Oski had the easy goal. Whoa, okay, Ollie accidentally pre-flip redirecting that one into his own back corner, but it's worked out well.
See Ixo just trying to get that away, but I guess that one's worked. There goes Oli. Challenged by Archie. Seems to be doing all the right things for his team. Rezi's actually not really achieved anything with his attempt to go upwards. Oski's outplaying all of them. And that'll be what this roster really is for Oski. It's going to be a large determinant of where his career is going to go in the long run. Because this is everything he wants.
Big miss.
This position is not where he wants to be, though. We will not be talking about perfect sweeps. Moist Esports are on the board.
Oh, you know, it's not a miss, actually. Joyo bumped him. What a bump. I think Archie just had that catch, but Joyo landed on the back wall and drove right into him. Archie was trying to wait for that bounce and then play the ball. I don't think he realized that Joyo was landing right in front of him. And of course, Joyo's meant that. So phenomenal play in the setup to leave the net wide open.
Must have been trying an awful lot just to find these bumps and demos. Rezi actually faked out the first player. Here comes Joyo, looks for the backboard double tap. Oski's having none of it. Odie now on the retreat. Gonna want some support from Rezi. Did enough for the time being. Oxygen. Move Oski. First touch let him down. Second touch will not happen. Follow-up, though, from Oxygen has been very good, very fast. Ceiling reset from Oli. Wanted the bump. Not going to happen for him, but that's a nice position, actually, for Joyo. First touch was just a slight bit too heavy for him. But now they can work from this position. Oh, Rezi was not far off finding the reset.
Yeah, they're looking confident with the aerial play. Moist. Here's Archie. Oh, flip reset while flying in a shadowing position there. He's just tracking the ball's movement. Lands the flip reset as the ball passes overhead. Now Archie back flipping away to fake the shot for Oski to come in. There's some very creative plays coming out of Archie. We talked a lot about his defense and about his solid play at the back, but you know, he's been dangerous going forward as well. Looks very comfortable right now on the pitch.
Spin's decision-making for me, that's been incredible. That one, a bit of a dive and hope, and there's the best opportunity in a while, but the ball is smothered to the far side. Clear from Oski. Joyo's waiting for it. Not going to find the ball. Oli, bit of time. Want to try and lay it off to a teammate. Instead, it's now Oski's turn. Everyone's diving in so early on these challenges. Both teams, a lot of respect for what each other team can really do mechanically. Nice play to the back corner from Joyo. Again, early challenge. So it's actually seen it go over him. And you see one mistake opens up the shooting angles.
Once again, it's a Joyo assist. Air dribble to the ceiling. And then the clear with that kind of ceiling shot mechanic to pass the ball to his teammate. That gives so much pace for the shot. Again, Joyo just providing for his team. He's assisted both goals, and yes, there was work to be done after the assist came through, but he is back to his outplaying ways.
Looking for more bumps on the backfield. Oli, triple tap! Couldn't quite get it all the way in. Moist Esports starting to fire a lot better. Not forward for a silly mistake now. Joyo's gone in so early. Infield pass, and Archie not far off. I think his shot would have been covered. Rezi's jumped up there. Oli did not play the ball to him. Small examples of what could potentially go wrong here for Moist. This is a game that they must win. Do not need to be reverse sweeping a best of 7. Oh, they will not have to if plays like this keep going.
What placement by Joyo, top bins finish. This is a bit of an awkward play here for Oski, accidentally centering the ball, and Archie, for a rare occasion, not perfectly positioned to make the save. He's a bit awkward there off the goal line. Joyo did well to place it top corner. They're up 3-1. This is by far the best game we've seen from them. As long as they don't own goal, okay, they've got away with that one. It's a bit of an awkward position, but they did keep it under control.
Joyo's got so much power.
Oh, my.
Both these teams playing with fire when it comes to their defense. No massive mistakes just yet. Here comes Oli. Backboard. Oski should have that scouted. Did exactly that. Keeps his team still within a punching distance of this game. Rezi. Oh my goodness. Well, that is quite the play.
You cannot let the flip reset fake work here. The goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance because he gets over the top of the ball and Floor pitches it past Oski. What a fake before that with the reset. 4-1. Moist have completely popped off and destroyed Oxygen in game 3.
That is after conceding a very early goal that could have potentially derailed them. Didn't let that knock the mental. Something that kind of was a signature of the old Moist roster. Just when it went bad, it went really bad. This time they are bouncing back and doing it with style to this point in game 3. Oski's just left it for Ixo, trying to find Archie. But this has been so difficult to play against. 20 seconds, Moist Esports have got this wrapped up.
I mean, we talked in the pre-game about how all of Moist want to be aggressive. They all want to be the guy pressuring the opponents. You know, when they can all do it like this, it doesn't look like a bad idea. It looks like it will be absolutely fine as a playstyle. Mesh for them. Rezi looking dangerous with the outplays. Oli looking speedy and hard to contain. And Joyo, I mean, yeah, we don't need to really say anything more about Joyo's game. The match speaks, I think, more than any words could. He's back to his old self. You know, off-season, RLCS, you know what kind of Joyo you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's one that wants to add some more trophies to his name. Yeah, it's so interesting when we look at towards team compositions and then we get rosters that play like this where it feels like whilst it doesn't quite make as much traditional sense, you haven't got like somebody you're expected to be back a little bit more. It does also feel like Moist have put their win condition on the table, that everyone knows what the play is. If they can outright outpace you and they're going to get a little bit of time on the ball, you're in big trouble. Now, it's a question of teams that can match that pace. What do they do then?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're going to play this triple offense, then you need to be so perfect. And when it's done perfectly, you can get things like Vitality. You can get things like G2 when they were at their best. You can get the old Moist with Rise, Joyo, Vatira. You know, can they emulate that roster? And, you know, some teams do it with a little bit more of a defensive player, Vatira on Moist back in the day. Some teams just like to go completely all-out offense and be a full rotation. Whatever's demanded, whatever's required of you, that's what you'll do for the team. And I know that's actually what Joyo tried to do with his last team. He wanted to improve his defense. He wanted to become a more well-rounded player because when he had Vatira behind him, he could just be aggressive and go for double flip resets every single play. But then when he didn't have Vatira behind him, he thought, right, sometimes I'm going to be at the back and I need to be the guy holding it down. And I think he did well in that role towards the end of last season. Love to see Rezi and Oli take the same approach and just be all-rounders. So we get to see Joyo up front. Oh dear, that's not all-round defense. It might still work out for the Marchie Skies. The follow-up shot arrived a bit too early. That should have almost definitely been 1-0 Oxygen.
Yeah, that might be the first sort of negative play that we've seen from Archie in this entire series. He's been very stalwart up to this point. Has to move in for now. He's going to get the opportunity. Over the top of Rezi. Oski in. Doesn't get the clean win. This is a lovely position actually for Oxygen Esports, who have been very impressive across this opening series. Oski, reset gained, wants to go the whole way. Oh, the outplay potential across everybody on the field is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that we can enjoy about a lobby like this, is that you've got 6 players who are all very, very confident with their aerial play. They're very confident that they can outplay 1, even 2 players, even 3 players if they get the right setup. That's what Joyo's going to try and do here, but he's got absolutely no boost to play with, so he just leaves the ball to bring Oli into the play. Looks like Oli and Rezi have both gone for different ideas there. Oli trying to set up Rezi. Rezi driving underneath for the boost steal. You know, there will be growing pains if they're going to play this full aggressive style, where they just have to really get used to what the preferences of their teammates are going to be in various positions.
Oli is under a lot of pressure here from Ixo. Did well to fake the challenge and just let the ball come over to him. Oski, backboard, double tap, keeps it away. They had a whole bunch of blue cars waiting for him. Oli on the reset. You can see the double commits happening now. Keep an eye on the boost tolls as well. Archie's the only one of anything. Means he has to do some work, and he's not going to do it for now. Oski now with the 83. He dove in, didn't get anything for it. Feels like the player's going. Okay, the player's going.
Yeah, so a couple of times now this game, Rezi and Oli have just not been on the same page. They're not communicating early enough to allow the proper follow-up to happen. And, you know, it's not just about the player on the ball. The player off the ball as well has to communicate their intentions early enough that these kind of misplays and mistakes don't happen. Now, where's the defense here? There's Joyo. He's going to keep Oxygen at bay for a moment. Great control by Oli, but he will be stopped short of scoring. Moist is well spread out here. This is difficult for Oxygen to clear the ball. Moist have got the left side covered. They've got the right side covered. And it's looking a little bit like game 3, which obviously went heavily in Moist's favor.
We haven't seen what we typically look for on these very aggressive teams rotations. Any mistakes when it comes to overcommitting, leaving very easy goals open. There we see Oli is back, waiting for the ball. And deciding to try and outplay everybody. This has been very difficult for Oxygen. Now off the backboard, here comes Joyo! Wow. Moist Esports have got up and rolling.
Well, that's just phenomenal by Oli. He controlled the ball on his own back wall and brought it down, air dribbled it past one, bumped another to set up this attack for Moist. The whole team got involved, but Oli started that off in defense with control and a 1v2 outplay.
It does seem to me like Oli has been leveling up during the offseason. Archie, though, we know the level he's bringing. Archie's definitely been the most effective so far from Oxygen when it comes to his attempts at outplays. Promise at the moment, he's not getting much time for it. They've been stuck in defense ever since that timeout was called. But sticks with this current result. Do you wonder if Oxygen are going to call theirs? Oli, off the side. Time for Oski, but he just powers the ball long, and that's a nice position actually for Rezi.
Speed.
They've actually got resets as well, and now they're just going to control it. I can guarantee you the defender is looking at Joyo on the ceiling.
Yeah, Joyo's got the ceiling reset here. He jumps as well, so Archie's got to be thinking about that. And instead, it's just Oli catching the ball and rolling it in while Archie panics. 2-0 Moist. They are on a scoring spree right now. Completely turned this one around. It looked like completely Oxygen series. 2-0, 1-0. Moist haven't scored, and now it's 4-1, 2-0 the other way. What on earth did they talk about in that timeout? They've got to write down whatever was said and start to revise it later on. Joyo looking at the floor bench. It's a beauty. It's 3-0.
Thunderous from Joyo. Take a look at pure magic. Bang. Archie tried. Archie failed. And Joyo adds another.
Bang, and the ball is gone. The floor pinch is coming to you in late 2023, early 2024. You can guarantee it. When players start to get good at this shot, defense doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's 3 goalkeepers in the on the line. You're not going to react to a floor pinch. It's such a fast way to take the shot, and it happens quickly in the setup as well. Joyo didn't need to take his time and just really position himself delicately in the approach. No, he just sent himself flying towards the floor and then sent a thunderous strike towards the Oxygen goal. If we don't see an Oxygen timeout after this, then I don't know what they're doing. This is the most obvious timeout call. Moist are on fire. You've got to cool them down here. Oh my goodness, they're not done. Ixo's done well to clear that one. They were almost on the counter-attack here, but it will be too little too late. Surely, as Oxygen put 1 goal in with just 6 seconds left.
What's the quickest you can get a kickoff goal? Is it like 3-4 seconds?
Well, technically 1 if the other team just get out of the way and they let you shoot. But realistically, in 3v3, you're looking at a 2-second minimum. You've got to get a dead ball kickoff and an immediate shot for the fastest kickoff goal possible. They're going to go for the right cheap kickoff win. So interesting there by Oxygen trying to get the ball off to the side. It didn't work, but I like that they've tried something there. Yeah. That's another way to generate not quite a 2-second goal, maybe 3 seconds if that ball can get on target quickly enough. That's another new strategy that's been popping up in 3v3 more recently.
I just find it ridiculous how quickly the narrative can change in these kind of series. I mean, opening 10 minutes of this series, no goals. They looked offensively flat for Moist Esports. We didn't really know how this entire roster was supposed to work. And then one timeout later, by the way, just had another timeout called. Kind of saw that one coming a mile off. But one timeout later, 7 goals later, and it all suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, it just looks like they were meant to play together. We're wondering, have they really got the mesh here? Have they really got the combination? Because they're all aggressive players, but they're not making anything happen in offense. And if you're going to play with 3 aggressive players like this, 3 players who love to force the issue, you have to get into offense. You have to do what teams like Top Cougars were doing yesterday in the closed qualifier. You can't be sitting back with a team like that. You need to press, and you need to put the pressure on the opponents. And yeah, now that they've done that, Oxygen is starting to panic. Archie, where previously he was so composed and got in the goal, saving everything, frustrating Moist. Now he's panicking. I mean, the setup for I think it was the 3rd goal, Archie was just flailing around in the goal line. He's worrying about where Joyo's, it might have been the 2nd goal actually, where Joyo's rebound is going to come from, and Oli just caught the ball and rolled it in. So yeah, they've got them completely shaken here. Oxygen have got to, figure this one out quickly. It's essentially a best of 3.
For me, Archie needs a little bit of help now, because he is very often the 3rd one back, but the other 2 are launching to midfield challenges, and they're getting nothing on the play right now. So Archie is still being stuck in defense, but rather than taking on 6 out of 10 plays like he was in games 1 and game 2, Archie can cover a 6 out of 10 play. That's perfectly fine for him. He's taking on 9, 10 out of 10 plays now. He really he needs to see less of them, and he needs those plays disrupted a little bit before they get to him.
Yeah, you're not going to save, that floor pinch from Joyo unless the ball just hits you. You're not saving it. Unless you pre-jump and get lucky. It's too fast for a human to react to, as far as at least all the humans I know. So they need to challenge earlier. They've got to get the challenges to land before it's point blank range floor pinch, before it's a bullet of a shot from that kind of distance. Let's see if they can have as effective of a timeout as Moist did. We're all tied up 2-2. Oxygen fresh off the timeout. Going to try and swing the momentum once more.
It was Oxygen that managed to score first off Moist's timeout. That was actually the last time Oxygen did score, and they did get on to the very end of the last one, so I'm wrong there. That's the last meaningful goal that they got. Oli, there's the bump, and it's in!
Wow. It doesn't need to be a fast shot when you've got Oli in front of the ball like this. Archie didn't get much of a clear on it. Ixo left it for Oski. Oski got bumped out of the way. It was Rezi actually going for the bump there. So fantastic stuff by Moist once again. The aggression on the ball, off the ball. It's just not being handled by Oxygen right now. And can you really blame them? Ixo going to try and fire back with a ceiling shot. Oh, it's top corner. What a response by Ixo.
Probably the player that we spoke about the least in this series announces himself in a massive way. The team needed that. And he has given them a phenomenal goal.
I wouldn't mind if this turns into a 5-5 kind of game, like the way that these teams are playing.
Let's go away with defense. Rocket League's evolved beyond defending.
Well, here we go again. Archie's got an air dribble. No reset yet. Won't get one. Ixo again coming through. That one's a bit easier to stop than his previous ceiling shot.
Oli couldn't quite control a 0 boost. Whereas he should be able to. He's got 50. Ixo can turn in on this one, and he has. Didn't get too much purchase on the hit. Oxygen, you can tell at least one thing has been said. Cut rotation if you have to. Do not let Moist get going from their defense.
If Oxygen are... Oh, hold on.
Just in.
That is just in. I was going to, start to get really deep and theoretical with what Oxygen might want to do in this matchup, and instead they've just conceded because nobody's hit the ball to the back corner. It's just gone in. Big dunk from point blank range. What I was going to say is that if Oxygen are trying to big brain this, they might just try and start pre-jumping Joyo in particular. Any bouncing ball, pre-jump. Anytime that Joyo's got any chance of aerialing at all, pre-jump. Then, of course, Joyo could switch that around on them and just control the ball and dribble it to counter potential pre-jumps. It's the next step to the game of chess. That's the little mini game, the mind game that's going to be happening between Joyo mainly. But, you know, I'm sure the rest of the lobby as well.
It's also something that once you change that, you get at least 1 or 2 for free. And then Joyo's going to start noticing it. And if that's 1 or 2 less Joyo plays to go against, I know, I'd be happy to do that. And that was incredible to keep that ball out.
After the bump as well, that's insane to recover and then post-pitch save it.
So good. Moist Esports just retreated to their side of the field. All right, you know what? This one's just not going to work for us. Whereas he was waiting downfield. Oski now with Oli trying to pre-jump him, and Oli's come out of that very well. The confidence has now started to lack here from Oxygen. Everything that was working in the opening 2 games just is not working anymore. Oli, backboard. He's got the set. Rezzy's is in support. And he found his bumper. Moist Esports are obliterating them.
Well, play by Oli. Just a beautiful touch to perfectly keep control while outplaying an opponent. And, I mean, you're not going to get an easier goal than that today, Rezzy. Well, pass, just silver platter delivery straight to Rezzy. 3-1 Moist. Shutting down Oxygen once again. They're just outstriking them, or out-pressuring them. And Oxygen don't look like they've got too much to say about it. Oh, hold on. Yes, they do. That's a nice post bounce into the middle of the box. And they are going to fire back. I said I wouldn't mind a 5-5. We're exactly on track for one.
I do love that Archie played it so early as well for the inbounds, because that's the only chance you're going to get to try and score. If it goes against you, trust you back up to at least deal with it, but play for the goal scoring opportunity. Ixo tried to kill the ball in the midfield. That didn't quite work. Joyo from the ceiling. Did run out of boost, so even if he did manage to pinch, it would have been difficult to really create a goal from that position. Every single touch Moist Esports, the first one is always just, I pop the ball into the air, let's see what I do.
Yeah, it's always a threat. Every Moist Esports touch right now is a threat in some way, whether it's a controlling touch to allow a flip reset to occur, whether it's a hard hit that starts the chase. You know, they've really done a good job finding the outplays that were missing in the first 2 games of the series, and completely convincing, I'm sure, all of the Moist fans who are watching and were thinking after 2 games, oh no, they've got it wrong in the offseason. The first iteration of Moist for this offseason is not looking good. I wonder who they're going to pick up next, but I'm sure everybody's flipped on that one after seeing all 3 players step up. You know, Oli looks phenomenal in this team. This is a guy who is really struggling in the World Championship wildcard.
Off the backboard, Joyo just wanted to try and grab the ball, but Ixo is going to at least shield it for now. Nice back pass. All of the team play coming through. Demos as well. Joyo with Ixo, who has to avoid even more bumps. Jumped early to get away from Oli. There are threats everywhere right now, but Oxygen have managed to keep themselves in this game. And they've got about a minute to get themselves that goal.
Yeah, they are still in range. It seems like Moist have still got this momentum that they started in game 3. Here's Oski, 1 reset for him, another touch to the backboard. Archie with an uncontested shot, but it's saved by Oli, follow up by Ixo. That one's also going to be saved. That's better though from Oxygen. Archie, or rather Oski, did get the mid boost there, so they're going to keep Moist back.
Yeah, Rezzy wants to try and control that ball out. Instead, his team's still stuck in defense. And now the bumps are coming through. The team bumps are coming through. They'll at least be covered by Oli for now. For the first time for Moist Esports, that's still the one thing that has lingered from our opening 10 minutes. Now 20 seconds, Archie, Ixo, and Oski have not got many chances left.
I think Oxygen knew they had Moist boost starved there, but not sure they kept track on all the boost pickups that were happening to get Moist out of defense. Eventually, we're into the final 5 seconds. It's actually Rezzy on the ball. This is a nightmare for Oxygen to deal with. They're the team defending while they're down by 1 already, and they can't get another chance. They had the pressure play at the end there, but they didn't get the goal from it. Even with an accidental team bump from Moist that looked, you know, pretty unfortunate when it happened. Didn't matter. Oxygen have not got the firepower right now.
Seems like Moist's ability to recover in defense has been very, very impressive, because you're right, there have been mistakes.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them actually from Moist in defense, and yet, you know, part of it has just been the shooting from Oxygen just hasn't quite been there. The other part has been, well, Moist are still around despite mistakes.
Yeah, Moist have just, for me, they've just been more dangerous. You know, there was one Oski play there at the end of the game where he's got a flip reset and I think, okay, that looks scary. But it was a while before we saw a previous scary play. Maybe the Ixo ceiling shot. Yeah, that was really well worked. That was right after a kickoff while everybody's still looking for boosts and trying to find the right position to be in. But from midfield play, Oxygen don't look dangerous. They don't have the multiple threats that Moist do. Oli looks dangerous in the ball. Rezi looks dangerous in the ball and off it. Joyo looks like the best player in the world on the ball at times. Now, if Oxygen can figure this one out, I'll be so impressed. They tried it with a timeout, didn't work. They're now 3 losses in a row. It's double match point Moist. And if they can get that match point, remember, they'll be playing at Paris Games Week next weekend. They'll win some prize money and they'll also have a shot at maybe, depending on the result of our next match, shots at Vitality potentially.
So many good matches now are on the cusp of being confirmed. Just waiting to see who gets there. Good demo. Unfortunately, there's always another player. Oli's touch makes life actually a little bit easier for Oski than maybe he was anticipating. Yeah, ever since that timeout, Moist Esports have been pretty dominant in this. The last game, with the timeout buff, Oxygen Esports got it at least within 1, the fake play. It's barely making contact. Joyo's actually managed to cut across and almost caught out 2. Oh, Oski's gone up. He's going to have a little bit of time with this. Caught the ball so well. And actually, there's the mistake yet again in Moist Esports. There's the recoveries.
Rezi's got a shot from distance here. It will be collected by Oski. Oh, he's actually outplayed 2 there. Rezi retreats back and takes the ball under control again. This is definitely the end of season sensible result here. Rezi's chasing Oski away from this while Oli advances. Massive dunk at the end of the air dribble. It's again Moist who lead.
Just read the future right there. You can see Oli, and now he knows where this is going. That was not a late adaptation. He set them up and they took the bait.
Like, what is this performance from Oli? It really does show what difference a couple of months can make, what difference a new team can make, because he looked lost at the World Championship wildcard playing for G1 alongside, you know, some very talented players, and he himself is a, you know, great talent for Rocket League, but now you put him in there with Rezi and Joyo, who had great endings to their RLCS season, and he is dominating. He is so quick to the ball and so decisive with his plays. If you look at this again with the huge touch that almost surprises the defender. I'm sure it did, but Oxygen did get a key deflection. Now Archie gets an air dribble going. Couldn't get in front of the ball for the bump or behind it for the flip reset there. Moist just look like they are the better team now that they've leveled up, now that they've hit that top gear.
Oh, and there's the follow-up. Good stop. Archie's going to keep it away from Joyo. Archie, still the player I feel that can potentially cause that outplay. He's been looking for it. I think Oski and Ixo have been maybe a little bit more tentative on that fact. Oli just pops the ball up. Nobody on his team really helping out for now. The team with the lead and half the game left to go. Backboard. How early has Joyo predicted that play? That is ridiculous.
I mean, he did so well to adapt as well. He saw that it was going to go backboard behind him, just read the bounce and sent it into the back corner safely. Half the game gone. Oxygen scoreless in game 6. Now here comes Archie with a chance. It's off the post. It's off the other post after a deflection from blue team player. That's Moist. Looked like that was a golden opportunity, really. Oxygen have not taken it.
Archie trying to put Rezi into an awkward position. The backboard volley, and actually just has to get out of the way of his own teammate. That could have been pretty catastrophic. Instead, they've worked to the opposite side of the field, off the backboard, getting some bumps. Rezi now with his own opportunity. Oski has kept the ball out. This is not where Oxygen want to be playing this, and Oli's done a bit of a whoopsie there. He's at least recovered the ball.
Yeah, it worked out really well because nobody saw that coming. Nobody thought he would just understeer and drive around the ball while trying to get the cut into it. Now Joyle's got a ridiculous redirect position here. He catches it on the back wall instead, and the Oxygen are stretched in again to try and contain the Moist offense. They've broken free thanks to Joyo accidentally bumping his teammate on the rotation out. So Moist are far from flawless, but they're still too good for Oxygen at the moment.
And Joyo has control of the ball, lays it off to Rezi, off the bumps, double tap, oh, the crossbar disagreed.
Yeah, so unlucky bounce there. Lower and he would have had a goal. Higher and he would have had the double tap. Instead, it's kept Oxygen in the game. That fourth defender coming in clutch for them, but now Joyle's got a point-blank range shot. He hits the bar and does get the double tap on the follow-through. It felt like it was coming. Massive 50-50 middle, and Joyle, yeah, he reacted to that pretty quickly, didn't he?
I feel like that was personal against the crossbar. There's like, I have to hit this crossbar on the way through just so it knows better in the future.
I think it's personal for Joyo every time he plays Rocket League. He's constantly been in that kind of mindset of proving himself ever since his two teammates left him. He's almost scored a multi-reset play to make it 3-0 there. The post to the rescue of Oxygen, keeping it competitive. Yeah, Joyo doesn't need, in my opinion, to convince anybody anymore. We all know what he can do, but boy, is it fun to watch him continue to amaze us. What a first touch that is. He's producing height from an impossible position. Now Oxygen have just got 30 seconds to play with.
That's been a completely different series ever since the end of game number 2. Did look like Oxygen Esports were just going to run away with it. There were even talks of a perfect sweep, and only has kept it out. They've more frustration for Oxygen Esports. But they need a goal here, and they're running out of time for it.
Yeah, it's just not happening for them. They've been completely out-muscled in the midfield here, surely. Okay, they will get one. And now they only need one more. Unlike the game earlier where they're down by 2 goals, needing a late kickoff goal. Now they just need to get the ball in the air. This is playable. And
we already know Oxygen Esports have got a couple of kickoff plays in the bag. I'd be very shocked if I see this being played.
They could place that. Okay, they're going to go back right, lose back right intentionally. That's a difficult one to execute, but they made it work out. Massive interception by Joy, although they can't convert on the possession play, and Moist win 4 straight to advance.
Wow. I mean, that was quite something. And suddenly, we go from, oh, this might be a perfect sweep, to, wow, that was just really dominant for Moist Esports.
And that's almost better for them, that they came back from behind
this
to get the win.
This would not have happened last season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's difficult to come back against a team who are playing as solidly as Oxygen were. Archie looked completely impossible to get the ball past. And it was actually Oski who was creating the most chances. Ixo didn't make any mistakes. I mean, it didn't look like there was going to be any free goals, any free wins, any misplays to play with for Moist Esports, but they just created their own plays. They didn't wait around. It's like we talked about earlier. You don't want to play in these tournaments as the defensive team. You want to be that team playing aggressively. You want to be the team playing loose these days. That's the meta in Rocket League that works. It's what's worked for Vitality, and everybody else is following suit. Moist did a pretty good Vitality impression at times in that series.
That was the thing for me, is like, for Oxygen, there was nothing I really saw that I was like, oh, I don't like what you're doing. It was just, nowadays, one team is going to peak, and on this occasion, it was Moist Esports. They are moving on to the semifinals, and after this break, we're going to find out who they're going to play.